the minutes of our last meeting held March 21st, 2019. Councillor Accioni.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Schattenberg, that the minutes of the regular meeting of Woodstock City Council held on March 21st, 2019 be adopted.
Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries unanimous. And tonight we have Diana Andrews joining us as a delegation to discuss Woodstock comedian Greg Morton. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mayor Birch and City Council. I want to express our gratitude. I am the main contact for the Friends of Greg Morton, and we're here with some of our people to advocate for some public recognition in a permanent manner for Greg from his hometown. So thank you for allowing us to speak, City Councilors and Mayor Birch. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of a history of Greg and his work he's done over some 30 years, and then we're going to show you a few video clips of his work in the States. And we do have a few people here who may, if the City Council permits, come up and say a few seconds of their support for Greg as well, if there is time for that. So I'll begin. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're standing on the lands, and we're residing on the lands of the Haudenosaunee people and the Anishinaabe. Good evening, Mayor Birch and members of City Council. Thank you for allowing us to make a deputation to commemorate comedian Greg Morton. We appreciate being granted the opportunity to voice our support and desire to have Mr. Morton formally and permanently recognized by his hometown city for his ongoing philanthropy to his community. My name is Diana Andrews, as was said, and I am the main contact, and I am a French immersion teacher in Toronto. On behalf of the group and Woodstock citizens who have signed the petition to have him recognized, Mr. Morton, I would like to highlight some of his considerable and international successes over the span of decades in the domain of comedy entertainment. Outside of the United States and Canada, Greg has garnered himself a stellar and international reputation as one of the most sought-after comedic acts. Greg has performed in Lucerne, Switzerland, in Australia, and his main area to perform is in the United States. He has performed in syndicated shows, such as the Bob and Tom Show, where his YouTube views have surpassed 4 million YouTube likes, especially for his parody song, Obama Man. He has contributed thousands of dollars to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Lions Club of Woodstock, as well as his alma mater, which is College Avenue Secondary School, to their music program. He has also performed several times at Montreal and Halifax's Just for Laughs comedy festivals. He has opened for Celine Dion, Chris Rock, Harry Connick Jr., and Dionne Warwick. At his home, he has performed several years, at least dating to the early 2000s, at the Oxford Auditorium, where he has donated all of his money to his secondary school and, as I mentioned earlier, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Woodstock. He continues to maintain friendships in Woodstock, and he always speaks fondly of his hometown where he grew up. So now I would like to play a 2-minute and a bit video of one of his acts in the States, which he is well known for and has been for decades, and that's his parody on Star Wars.
And we had the best movie in the world when we were kids, Star Wars. Oh, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Join me, Luke. Join me on the dark side. I'll never join you! Ah! No, Master Luke! Master Luke! Stay on target, stay on target. Loosen up, stay on target. They're coming in too close. Shut down the garbage mashers on the detection level. Rapio, shut down the garbage mashers on the detection level. Oh, shut them down. Shut them all down. They're dying. On to Uti Waka Luko Solo, Utu Jabba Waka.
I'm afraid the Death Star will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
Oh, the force is strong on this one, eh?
Here he comes. It's Greg Morton. How'd you feel out there?
Okay, so the second one is a tiny bit longer, and this is his 4 million plus YouTube likes for Obama Man.
So this is a new song. This is even a commercial?
No, I don't think so. It's going to become quite apparent, I think.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the vocal stylings of Greg Morton.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. AIG, Bank of America, Citigroup, First National, Lone Star. What do you want? 1, 2, 300 billion? Come on over. I'm your candy man. Who can fix the mortgage? General Motors, too. A bailout check for me and a bailout check for you, Obama man. Yes, Obama man can. Obama man can, 'cause he mixes it with hope and makes the world taste good. Who can give you health care? Who can save the poor? Who can save the poor? Who can pick the teams that are in the Final Four? Obama man. Yes, Obama man can. Obama man can, 'cause he mixes it with hope and makes the world feel good. Obama man takes problems and he makes them, he turns them into cream and peaches. Sugar-coated, smooth-tongued speeches. I hope he practiced what he preaches.
Musical interlude.
Who can take tomorrow? Spend it all today. Who can take your income and tax it all away? Obama man. Everybody.
Obama man.
Yes, Obama man can. Obama man can, 'cause he mixes it with hope and makes the world feel good. Yes, Obama man takes every speech he makes, gives it a whole bunch of thinking. When Michelle Obama's winking, then he runs it by Abe Lincoln. Who can buy an iPod? Give it to the Queen. Who can take economy and turn it into green? Obama man.
Obama man.
Yes, Obama man can.
Obama man can.
Obama man. Obama man. Obama man. Hey, Chrysler. GM, you want some money? Ford, you want some? No, you don't? Okay, good. More for GM. God bless this mess, everybody. Obama man can.
Okay, would there be a minute maybe for a few quick comments from a teacher from College Avenue Secondary School and great, thank you so much. Sandra, would you like to come up?
Good evening, everybody. My name is, thank you for having me here, Mayor Birch and Council. My name is Sandra Brown, and 16 years ago, I had this idea of raising some money for, at the time, Big Sisters, where I worked. And so I reached out, I found Greg, his sister and I grew up together, and asked him if he would come perform for us. That very first night, we were able to raise $19,000 for Big Sisters. And little did I know that it was going to turn into an event that other people were going to want to duplicate. Over the years, Greg's also came and performed again for, it was Big Sisters again, I believe, that I did it with, he performed with Deborah G. Giovanni from Tilsonburg, which was a really great success. And then also we, I think for that event, actually it was for the CAS Gym Committee. At the time I was on the committee at CAS, and we were able to raise thousands of dollars to help build the new gym floor. And then he was back again for my daughter's dance company, the former Woodstock Dance Academy, along with the Sweeberg Lions, and we were able to raise money for a Disney trip then. So I'd just like to say to Greg and his family, thank you so much for keeping us in their hearts and coming back. And, you know, he's been a very recognizable face here in Woodstock. Thank you.
And now we have Josh Braden, a music teacher at his alma mater, which is College Avenue Secondary School.
Good evening, Council. Mayor Birch. Thanks very much for having me. I cannot speak in an official manner for CAS or for Thames Valley School Board. Through our media department, I'm speaking on behalf of myself and my experiences with Greg. So I moved here about 2 years ago. I'm a fairly new Woodstonian, but in my experience, the Greg Morton name is something that spread instantly to my ear right away through the various fundraisers that have been previously spoken about. The one that I helped work, the recent one, he is a man of grace. Character takes time to speak to every individual that is around him. He's not too big for his britches or anything like that. And obviously, the financial contributions that he's made to the various things in this city, including his alma mater, I think deserves to be recognized. He's a wonderful individual, and I hope you'll consider that. Cheers.
Thank you. Any questions of council? Councillor Talbot?
Well, I don't have any questions, but I just have to say, Diana, thank you. You just took me back to high school because I was in art class with Greg for 4 years, and he entertained us like that all the time. So I just went back a few years, and Greg has grown into an individual, and it's nice. I was just showing someone I think it was last year, had my picture taken with him when he was here for an event, and it's always nice to have him come home and support his community, and I'm pleased to know that he supports his alma mater and the Big Brothers and Big Sisters in the community and the other organizations as well. It's always nice when someone does well in this community and goes out and beyond, and I know when he was in the U.S., but to still remember his home. So thank you for those memories.
Thank you. Councillor Accioni?
Thank you, Your Worship. More of a comment as well. I've had the pleasure to attend quite a few of his events and actually shared the stage with him on 2 occasions. I'll never forget the first time afterwards he came over to me and he found out I was a city councillor. He was very embarrassed because of what he put me through on stage, but it was one of the greatest nights ever. It was hilarious. So, Greg, again, you're still one of the best and really appreciate it. So thank you.
Seeing nothing further, consideration of delegation. Councillor Accioni?
Moved by myself, the Woodstock City Council directs staff to add Greg Morton to the list of suggested street names.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Talbot. Further discussion? Councillor Schattenberg?
I must be a little bit younger than Sandra Talbot because I remember Greg Morton as a high school disc jockey when I was at WCI, and he would come in and entertain us. So I certainly know him very well as well as being great into this community. Just want to let the people know that might be watching this on TV. If you want to look at the full list of the street namings that are possible for the city of Woodstock, the one that's sort of maintained on an ongoing basis, just look back to the March 7th agenda. The full list is there. It does go on for a few pages, but Greg Morton is certainly, in my opinion, very worthy of this recognition.
Thank you. Further discussion? You've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the tender for the cab and chassis for snow control attachments. Councillor Fraser?
The Woodstock City Council award the tender for the purchase of 2 2019-2020 plow trucks for $401,500 exclusive of HST to Carrier Centers, Woodstock.
Thank you. And the seconder? Councillor Lauder. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. And next on the agenda is the building permit fees report. Councillor Tate.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council receive the building permit fees report as information.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Schadenberg. And discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the building bylaw regarding the sewage system amendments. Councillor Lauder.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council refer the building bylaw sewage system amendment report to the bylaw section of the meeting.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Accioni. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Next up, we have the proposed sale of industrial land at Pattullo Ridge Business Park. Councillor Accioni.
Moved by myself, the Woodstock City Council authorize the mayor and clerk to sign an agreement of purchase and sale with Execulink Telecom, and that the necessary bylaw be read.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Talbot. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Next item is the proposed sale of industrial land at Commerce Way Business Park. Councillor Fraser.
That Woodstock City Council authorize the mayor and clerk to sign an agreement of purchase and sale with Viewcon Construction and necessary bylaw be read.
You and the seconder, Councillor Schadenberg. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. And next item is the proposed sale of industrial land at Bisham Park to De Jong Management. Councillor Lauder.
I'll move the Woodstock City Council repeal bylaw number 9196-18 as it relates to the subject property, and further that Woodstock City Council authorize the mayor and clerk to sign an agreement of purchase and sale with the Jong Management, Inc., and the necessary bylaw be read.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Tate. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Next item is the delegation of authority to sign land use agreements. Councillor Fraser.
That Woodstock City Council delegate staff the authority to sign annual land use agreements as related to vacant industrial land, and the necessary bylaw be read.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Accioni. Discussion? Councillor Lauder.
Through the mayor to Mr. Hammond, since you're here tonight, you have to speak to one of these. Could you speak to this one?
Thank you, Your Worship, through to Councillor Lauder. So this request relates to land use agreements that our department frequently signs. An example of an agreement that we've been back every year for about 15 years is a request by the local snowmobile association to use our property as part of their trail system. So, 12 or 15 times I've brought the same request back to council. It's pretty standard in that. So that would be the one type of agreement. The more significant type of agreement would be a farm lease agreement where we rent land out for farming. When I became involved in renting farmland out, the city had close to 400 acres of land that we rented, and moreover, those parcels were in much bigger properties, 1 and 200 acres, and so forth. We've been very successful selling land, which is a great problem to have, but it's complicated our land leasing business a little bit in that we have less land than before to rent, and the parcels are much smaller. Because of our servicing work on that land too, every year there seems to be a bit of a hiccup that they can't plant on this parcel this year or that parcel another time. So I guess this is the request to enter into kind of short-term land use agreements. It would be kind of 1 year at a time for the mayor and clerk to sign. I guess the other issue is that the current tenants that we have right now are quite satisfied with the working relationship we have with them. As I said, we tend to disrupt their farming pretty well on an annual basis now because of our work, whether we've sold land or whether we're doing servicing. So we've got a good working relationship with the farmers we currently have. We're also receiving a pretty good rental rate. So I guess with that information, our plan would be to stick with the farmers that we're renting land to right now.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Our next item on the agenda is the Director of Public Works recruitment. Councillor Tate.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council direct the CAO to manage the recruitment process with the best use of staff resources.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Fraser. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. And next up is bylaws. Councillor Accioni.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Schattenberg, that the following bylaws be given first and second reading. 9285-19, a bylaw to provide the sale of certain lands owned by the Corporation of the City of Woodstock to Execulink Telecom. Bylaw number 9286-19, a bylaw to provide for the sale of certain lands owned by the Corporation of the City of Woodstock to Vucon Construction. Number 9287-19, a bylaw to repeal bylaw 9196-18 and to provide for the sale of certain lands owned by the Corporation of the City of Woodstock to Jejong Management, Inc. Number 9288-19, a bylaw to repeal and replace the City of Woodstock Municipal Code Chapter 252 Building Bylaw. And finally, number 9289-19, a bylaw to provide for the delegation of signing authority for annual land use agreements of vacant industrial land by council.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Councillor Accioni.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Schattenberg, that the following bylaws be given third and final reading. 9285-19 to 9289-19, inclusive.
All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. And tonight we'll start with Councillor Accioni.
Thank you, Your Worship. So a few things going on, of course, in April. I have the pleasure, of course, back up a wee bit. Earlier this week, I had the pleasure to go to Winchester Public School, spoke to their grade 8 class. What a great bunch of youth we have in this city. They are so passionate and they had such great ideas and really encouraged more youth to, not be shy and speak up and get in touch with all of council, which I have forwarded everything to council as well, that they provided. And Gems and Java, of course, is coming up April 12th and 13th. As well as this weekend, we have the Woodstock Oxford Home Expo at Golf Hall. So hopefully we'll see everybody out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lauder.
Thank you. I would just like to welcome our new employee at the Art Gallery, the head of collections, Carolyn Hickey. And I think she started on the 1st of April. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Talbot.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just want to comment on last week, I guess it was, Corks and Forks run by the Chamber. It was a very successful event, even after having to delay it from a snowstorm earlier. I think there was more people that came out at the new date, and it was very successful. It was a good night to see lots of people you don't see on a regular basis. And I just also want to, even though it's not a happy celebration, but it's the 10th anniversary of Tori Stafford's murder coming up this Monday. And Rodney is in Ottawa to protest, to keep it going with our correctional leadership, I guess, as you would say it, to make sure that people that commit crimes that they do the time. So I just want to encourage support for Rodney. We do support him. I wrote a letter to the Minister of Corrections back in January and still have yet to receive a reply. But I think that just knowing that the community is still behind him still gives him strength, and I don't think that she'll be forgotten easily. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fraser.
The only thing I wanted to touch upon is what Councillor Talbot just touched upon was 10 years ago on Monday, event happened in the city that affected the whole city. So many people, and it should never be forgotten. So all I'm asking is for our community to think on Monday about that poor girl that was abducted and murdered and her family. And if anybody's willing to support Rodney and his efforts, please stand up and speak. It's something that we should never forget. It's something that affected my life, and it'll stay with me for the rest of my life. and I will never forget that event and what transpired. So, and other than that, spring's here.
Thank you. Councillor Schattenberg.
I would think that Saturday, April 27th is going to be a busy day for the people of Woodstock. It's Woodstock Day at the Rogers Centre. The Blue Jays playing the Oakland A's that day. But Saturday, April 27th is also very important if you're one of the supporters of the Upper Thames River Conservation Authority. 50,000 trees will be planted basically throughout this month, throughout the watershed for the Upper Thames. So that's the Upper Thames only, not the Lower Thames, just the Upper Thames area. So that's Middlesex and Oxford and north towards Perth and towards New Hamburg and whatnot, that whole area. So it's quite a significant area, but 50,000 trees is a lot. But the reason I mentioned Saturday, April 27th, that's when the annual cleanup is along the Thames River. And the City of Woodstock certainly participates in that with the Advisory Committee for the Environment. And that's one of the reasons why I keep a turtle on my desk, is because of the Upper Thames River Conservation Authority and the good work they do. But Saturday, April 27th is the day to save on your calendar if you've got time in the morning to help out with the river cleanup and garbage along there. My kids are involved in the Stages program at the Theatre Woodstock. Of course, their website is theatrewoodstock.com, and their spring productions are May 2nd to 4th. On Saturday, May 4th, for example, they have 2 shows at 2 and 7 p.m. The younger kids are in Charlotte's Web. My son says that he's a farmhand in that production, so take a look out for the handsome farmhand. And the Fearsome Pirate Frank is what the older kids are doing. My daughter's in that production. So great work at Stages at Theatre Woodstock. So think about that show the first weekend of May. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Tate.
Yeah, I just want to mention an event that's coming up on May 9th called Toys for Big Boys. Leslie Farrell is taking all her wonderful talents and enthusiasm and work ethic, and she's got a new project. So this will go to benefit the United Way. It is a fundraiser for the United Way. Tickets can go on. They're on sale now. They're at United Way, several businesses around the community, the Upper Thames Brewery and Brickhouse Brewery. From what I understand, I don't know what some of the things are, but the raffle table is supposed to be spectacular. I think it'll be a great event. Tickets are $60 each, so if you know of anybody interested, it'll be a great night.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of the volunteers that have been working hard so far through the Rotary Stars of the Festival. Today I got to be there for, of course, my youngest daughter's performance, and wow, what a great job she did. But all of those volunteers and so many days that this takes, and I can't wait to see the finished product again. The province is continuing on their schedule for municipal government review, and that is affecting us here in the city of Woodstock and all the municipalities in Oxford County. There is a engagement with the consultants that will be taking place on April the 16th. Citizens and groups can sign up online. The links are available through the Oxford County website. You need to sign up by April 9th in order to appear as a delegation and let them know what you think municipal government means to you and how things should be looked at here in our community. We have a lot of great activities going on, of course, within the community, so stay up to date. Look at the What's on Woodstock magazine, the city website, the Facebook page, etc. And remember, as the roads are still not street clean, those that are out there on bicycles and motorcycles need a little extra space on the road, and make sure that everyone is safe. We also have had throughout the entire region a lot of unfortunate news with opiates and addiction and overdoses. There are kits that are available in the community. We have resources available in the community for those that would like to deal with their addiction issues. So make sure you or your loved one reach out and deal with this before it's too late. And with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Schattenberg.